we could not also have that trust, especially the community. They looked at us like maybe we are sellouts.
Wanting to beat up, wanting to scuttle, wanting to quarrel and, arrest.
In Nairobi, within the urban settlements of Kayole, Kibera, and Mathare, resilience shines through in the face of daily challenges. While access to justice is difficult, the spirit of hope and unwavering pursuit of human rights remains strong. It is in the urban settlements where human rights defenders who dare challenge the status quo are targeted, harassed, and silenced. Their work is very important, but ever-present are the dangers into which it brings them.
In terms of access to justice, for example, community fear the police because again that relationship is not there. The witnesses or the victims fear coming out to accuse or to make statements about the police.
And when we experience such instances of police abuse of power, it also makes our work a bit much more risky, being that we at times find ourselves in between very tough cases that involve extrajudicial executions and the disappearing of people through abductions.
Making space for dialogue is aimed at fostering conversations between police and civil society to create a safer, more understanding environment. In the 3 urban settlements, the engagements were met with hesitation. Making space for dialogue set out to bridge the gap and foster a sense of mutual respect.
Initially, it was us versus them. We took time to understand the reason behind this bad blood. Everyone was accusing everyone of doing this and that. Then we came up with a strategy of actually having them come together, talk properly without any kind of emotive, but being objective, not accusing, but identifying the issues that are making this relationship to be this bad.
The first step was simple and practical: bringing people together.
So the initial steps that were actually taken was to ensure that the capacity of the human rights defender is well developed to be able to address issues, to articulate particular issues, especially on community policing and why the relationship is important between the community and the police station.
The other step was very important, which is very key even to the human rights defenders, was the wellness part of it. Because most of the work of human rights defenders depends on psychological fitness or being there to document and bring the light to cases that are not well documented.
And then after that, these human rights defenders took it to themselves to visit a police station and go have an interaction with the police station, speak to the police and tell them, look here, this is what we're doing, to just get the buy-in. And then again, for the community, what we did is we did a lot of community dialogue forums where we're just speaking to the people who are wanting to hear what is their perception on how the police is treating them, and then now starting to bridge that by bringing them on same level and same conversations.
And also we saw a lot of stakeholder mapping when it came to issues of police brutality, police community dialogue and community engagement. The engagement that we had opened a lot of opportunity for us to actually come up with strategies that will assist us in implementing this project.
Kama ni tree planting, tunafanya na wao through kitu kama hiyo na kusafisha mazingira, unapata tumekuwa na rapopoa na wao venye inafika to an extent hata tukikuja kuwaita kwa shughuli yenye ni dialogue yenye inawa involve, watakama show up juu tuko na jina poa through activities zenye zinatuleta pamoja.
So these steps has been very important, making sure that the police come to the meeting and the community come to the meeting and we discuss our issues or the issues that affect the community.
This joint effort within the initiative of making space for dialogue is a clear example of how support for the work of human rights defenders can be a bridge to enhance the civic space, which can be beneficial to human rights defenders, communities, and the police. To foster dialogue, both police officers and community members were invited to share their experiences and concerns, helping each side better understand the other's perspective.
Of course, the engagement first starts with letters of invitation, which were actually given out and got stamped. And after that, the preparations now in terms of organizing the communities, people who have some cases that are still stalled, people who are still pursuing issues on extrajudicial executions that took place earlier, and the community at large who actually had a thing or two maybe to want to know and understand issues on access to justice, on how it actually works. So after following all those processes, then the engagement becomes very much simple. Like I said, it's just a matter of now organizing the dialogues and having a conversation.
Significant steps in the right direction were made by organizing forums and workshops within the community settlements. These interactions played a crucial role in breaking down long-standing barriers.
Ilikuwa ina involve zile mtaa zote zenye zina participate kwa dialogue ya making space for peace. Kutokana na hiyo dialogue, polisi pia anataka kuona change, na watu wa community pia wanataka kuona change, but kila mtu anaiona na angle tofauti. So kwa hiyo activity tuliweza kuelezana na kusaidiana kumake understanding ikue at least, hata kama si level moja, iko at least inaweza kupatana.
Issues kama hizi huwa inafaa tunaongea kwa baraza, kwa sababu hiyo baraza inafaa ina-address.
Progressive positive shift towards the dialogue was taking shape. Officers became more approachable and invested in understanding the needs of residents.
Some of the positive changes that we have seen during this project embrace the Justice Center, the existence. We've had a couple of conversations, and whenever we visit the police station, especially the deputy OCS is really welcoming and ready to listen to us.
We have seen a shift in how the police actually engage with the community. They are now more open, more receptive with the community because of the engagement that we've previously had with them. But right now, there's that kind of welcoming in from both the community and the police.
So when the local human rights defender would visit a police station, then they know, oh, these are the people that we are working with or engaging with in the community. And so if a community member is maybe arrested, somehow the police themselves or police station would refer them even to us to come and maybe record or maybe document the case.
Social justice.
Over this dialogue implementation period, community perception of the police progressively improved.
Kwa sasa si vile ilikuwa. Afadhali tumechukua step sahihi, lakini Kayole iko mzuri kwa sababu ile kikundi ya samani yote hii shirika imekuja pamoja na community na asasi ya serikali imekuwa mzuri.
The community from the urban settlements started to recognize that change was possible.
The perception has changed on the community members are now confident in maybe expressing themselves when they are going to a police station. So there is that change or shift that has come up that clearly can be seen.
in the long run, we've had a situation where people even outburst and pour out their frustration in the midst of police without fear, because we've built that situation where people now feel quite more easy to speak and to share their voice and their plights.
This initiative was not without its share of setbacks. During the protest triggered by the Finance Bill 2024, the police administered extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances countrywide.
What we are seeing are increased abductions and enforced disappearance taking place. We are seeing people who are not operating in the full regalia of police officers being masked, walking around with vehicles that are not state-owned or police-owned and have no plates, and they're disappearing people. So for us, we feel that this conversation needs to continue to actually pick up our gains again, being that they've been reversed after the protest began.
The advocacy tour held during the 56th Human Rights Council emphasized the critical need for the global ratification of the Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. The discussions during this session highlighted the Convention's role in safeguarding human rights and promoting accountability.
Through the speaker tour, the main thing was to speak about the importance of the ratification of the Convention of protection of all persons against the enforced disappearance. And we discussed the context on how enforced disappearance happen in the community and how important it is to push the government to criminalize enforced disappearance in Kenya.
The conversations and joint events between human rights defenders and the chairperson of the UN Working Group on the Enforced and Involuntary Disappearances, Ms. Awa Baldi, secured broader international support to encourage countries to adopt legal measures to prevent enforced disappearances, thus reinforcing global human rights standards.
Through this speaker tour, the success is that Ms. Awa Baldi was in the country. She got to hear about the stories of victims of enforced disappearance. She got the clear picture on how these families are suffering even to access justice.
The advocacy tour was a key element in fostering dialogue and cooperation among various international actors. As a key participant, mothers of victims and survivors network members were also greatly involved in this space. They were always on a quest to seek justice for the killing and brutal victimization of members of their family, usually young men, by the police. From such deep wounds, Lucy Wambui comes out to give the picture of change.
As mothers of victims, tumekuwa affected sana na kazi ya polisi as a network. Na sisi kama network, nasema sahi at least tunaweza sema kuna relationship, si poa, but at least ni improved relationship kati ya sisi mothers na polisi.
Notably, the dialogue made progress, bringing about real positive changes in the lives of people across the 3 urban settlements. These stories are not just statistics. They reflect the resilience and determination of individuals whose lives have been transformed.
And ever since we started engaging them through PBI and support of other stakeholders, at least now they understand our activities, that you're not fighting them. We're actually here to seek justice. And that being said is that what we actually look forward to is continuous engagement. And having broken that ice kind of gives us leeway to continue pursuing more legal and alternative justice resolution systems.
So one of the biggest outcomes I can speak to is we've seen an increased number of cases reported at the Kibera police station. Now, what does that reflect to? It reflects to the fact that now the community feels more accommodated at the police station than was before. And that is why they feel they can go seek justice the judicial legal way through the police station. So now they are coming every often. That is equally an outcome, that they feel it is important when they come closer to the people. That way they understand the needs of the people and how to address them by offering services the right way.
As the documentation comes to its end, there still remains challenges in improving the relationship between the police and the community, especially as human rights violations continue to occur.
The remaining challenge is, of course, the fact that you realize how the police service is structured. We can't have one police at a particular police station longer. It becomes again a whole task of reorienting them to what we've done, the wins we've won thus far, to the level we've come to.
When it comes to issues of awareness creation to the community on their rights, I think this is where we have an issue. Using of power of the authority to committing justice to the community.
Hata hizi dialogues zimekuwa zikiachanishwa sana. Unapata within 1 month vitu mingi sana zinafanyika na zipati space yenye watu wanaweza kuaga wakizidiscuss.
But then majorly, even in Kibera itself, it still remains a challenge that people still don't feel as though the police is honest in having this relationship alive. They still feel as though every time the police come, there will be that sense of, if I speak out, I can still be targeted later. And so people are still refraining.
So, kama hizi dialogues zinaweza kuwa ni lazima kila mwezi happen. Inaweza kuwa poa. Pia trainings za HRDs, za story security monitoring na documenting.
We need to engage community more and actually find something that they can collaborate well with the police officer to further build the relationship. There needs to be a lot of intensive, continuous community engagement on human rights and where to report.
For the success to be sustained, they suggested ways forward to keep the achievements lasting for years to come.
The trainings that we went through should be continuous for other comrades and the police.
Although we had limited funding, we did as much as we can, but we wish that the funding was more to reach more people because this was limited to HRDs only. But imagine if we had proper funding, reaching the community from every aspect, we could have made a very, very big impact and change.
PBI should open their scope because they should also take all the other counties also to learn from what has happened in Nairobi so that they can also change the situation which is happening.
The Making Space for Dialogue has shown that change is possible. It also serves as a reminder that peace is a process, one that demands ongoing investment and understanding.
At least now the community understands that these engagements are something that needs to always be continuing. One needs just to breathe life to it in terms of understanding how to organize and be able to have everyone on the same table.
Kuna venye the community na imesaidia kuonesha polisi that kuna njia ya kurekebisha watu ama kuna njia ya kufanya kazi, si venye walikuwa nakuja yako ready to attack.